Good day, everybody. How's it going? Screezilla here, who needs to clear his throat, apparently. And I hope you're all well. And, yeah, we're going to play a little bit of War Thunder on the channel for once. Actually, I'm going to boost that one. I'm going to activate a booster, so I'm guaranteed to die. So while we wait for the match, let's talk about some news. Gaijin has said, easy anti-cheat is coming to War Thunder at long bloody last. A service that should have been in the game many years ago. Easy anti-cheat is a relatively good software. It does help stop cheaters, and for the games that Easy Anti-Cheat has, like the list is pretty much endless. One of the big ones, I guess, for modern day eras is Fortnite, because Epic made Easy Anti-Cheat. So one of the games that I would really say is proof of how good it is Fortnite. What do we want to do? Let's take the RU251 out for a spin. So, Fortnite, iRacing, the Tom Clancy series, they all use Easy Anti-Cheat. And it's anti-cheat software that's not really that intrusive. It doesn't cause issues to games very often. It's pretty... it's actually pretty decent for an anti-cheat software. You know, usually you've got sort of terrible systems that cause problems and make the game more laggy and things like that. And, well, Epic have proven that, you know, that's not just the case. You know, they can actually make anti-cheat software that doesn't just sort of cause issues with games. Now, we'll go to the far side bridge on this one. So, this is something that the game has needed since year dot, basically. And it's something that we've wanted as a player base. And I do wonder if this is a reaction to all of the hashtag fix 1.91 debacle that's going on at the moment. I doubt it, because since they're adding it in this update, it may have already been signed, sealed and delivered as ready to go. But I do wonder if that had anything to do with it. It's also an extremely good image for Gaijin to actually have an anti-cheat software at long last, rather than just banning players who they find are cheats via replays from other players and have to manually search into it. They now have a system that will stop cheating at the start. Now, is Easy Anti-Cheat something that can be broken? Yeah, probably. There's probably some way around it, and, you know, there will still be the odd instance of cheating, no doubt, but it's one of those things that's like a, you know, chicken or the egg, you know, which came first. And it will be good to actually have software that does prevent cheating. I love how they've changed scout mechanic, by the way. Hi. This will spot him on the map. Yeah, I do love how they've changed the scouting mechanic recently to no longer work at long distance. That's just great, because that's how scouting works, of course. You know, with a scout tank, basically what happens is you sit there with your binoculars and you don't see the enemy until, you know, they're up close. You know, obviously I couldn't see that enemy at that distance, so it didn't scout for me. So that's perfectly fair, but it makes perfect sense. And it is a stealth nerf as well, which is something that Gaijin have been doing a lot of lately. Oh shit, there is a tank crossing the field. Where did he go? I saw him. I know I saw him. I saw the black outline moving along. But yeah, the scouting mechanic was changed, you know, recently, and not a thing was said about it, which is just typical for Gaijin. And these are the problems that cause players to basically quit the game. They make stupid decisions like that, and the scouting mechanic in arcade battles, fine, that's understandable, but in realistic battles, scouting mechanic should work at any range. If you can see the vehicle, it should be available for you. It shouldn't just be this thing of, you know, oh, well, you know, it's a certain distance, so your binoculars would not work at this distance. It should be a thing of, you can see it, okay, well, you can ping it. You can, of course, manually ping them out, but it is just so ridiculous that they have changed it without letting anybody know. There's no patch notes about it. I've not seen anything about the change on the website. Possibly in the forums they've said something, but they've not said anything openly about it. They've not actually said... We've not had a dev blog release and saying, you know, oh, well, the scout mode has been changed because we feel it was a bit too overpowered, being able to spot people at long distance. But surely if that's the case, then being able to shoot people at long distance is also a problem and should be changed. You know, with the Object 120, for instance, that shouldn't be able to shoot, you know, 5 kilometers and have the accuracy of a Tomahawk cruise missile. You know, it just, when they start making these changes, it breaks the balance of the game, and it does really affect gameplay. Like, it affects gameplay, because I enjoy playing as a scout. I loved it, it was really fun. But now they've removed that option from the gameplay, because you can't scout at long distances now. Now that may be fine in rank 1, because at rank 1 you don't have maps that are the size of a small continent. But when you get up the ranks, you start getting to these maps that are much bigger, a bit bigger in size, things like that, and maps that can absolutely cause this, you know, you need to be able to scout at super long distances. Say this ridgeline, for instance, there is a tank up there. I won't be able to scout it. 76 there. That's easy enough. But yeah, having the fact that scouting is now nigh impossible, it really takes away from the game, and it is just such a dumb thing that they've done. You know, it makes 0 sense to actually remove the mechanic from the, well, to make the mechanic so nerfed that it's nigh impossible to use. You know, it is a really dumb decision by Gaijin. And obviously I'm in a premium tank at the moment, so I have my, you know, I've got the improved optics, I've got everything on there. But it still doesn't work at distance. And what I've been told by people is it's a crew skill thing. It's partially to do with crew skill. That tank there. Yes, it is. And again, I couldn't scout it because it's too far away, apparently. And now I have to wait for my scouting ability to come back online, which is just fan-bloody-dastic. It's just what you want, really. To be a scout tank and not be able to scout. It's just makes perfect sense, really. But yeah, I do have to give credit to Gaijin for finally adding in the anti-cheat software. You know, they've got it. That was the wrong button. They've got it on the other games, such as Crossout and Cuisine Royale, or whatever the stupid name is for their stupid first-person shooter thing that they're planning. But they've got it on those 2 games, so obviously they know it works and they've used it. But they just haven't implemented it into War Thunder for no well-explained reason, because it's just one of those things. They're just like, well, we won't add it into War Thunder because, well, obviously it doesn't need it. Well, it has needed it. It's needed it since day dot, really. This has been something that players have been shouting about and wanting for many a year, because it is a huge difference maker. It's a huge thing in actually improving the game. And again, can't see him. I guess somebody killed him before I knocked him out. Oh well, that's fun. But yeah, finally we're getting an anti-cheat system in the game. But there's still so much they need to do. And they still need to tell us about changes such as, you know, such as scouting, which they have not done. Look, if you know where the dev blog is about scouting and you know where it is, let me know, because I would love to hear about it. Because currently, I couldn't see anything. And that is a blemish, if anything. Now, what I've heard is, as I say, Scouting Mechanic now has customizable, crew chill skills, don't I? Is now through crew skill. And I guess it's the commander? Keen vision, I guess. Increases your binocular sight range. So now it's this crew skill that activates your scouting, which formerly served no real purpose in ground forces. We didn't really use it, but now it has this purpose. Now, one of the biggest problems with this is it's a pay-to-win mechanic. Crew skill is absolutely pay-to-win. I don't care what anybody says, what any other YouTubers say, it's pay-to-win. Because, look, I just paid 100 lions, and I've almost maxed out that keen vision. And that will mean I'll be able to scout more effectively, possibly. But who knows? It could be the driver that needs it. It could be the gunner that needs it. It could be the loader that needs it. It could be anybody that needs it. There's nothing to say, you know, who it affects. Because it does the same thing on all of the different crew members. So maybe by putting it on the commander like this, it's actually not going to make a blind bit of difference, or it may make a slight bit of difference, because it only increases the where is it? It increases the line of sight up to 2,000 feet. Sorry, you know. So if I have it on every crew member, so currently what it's. Currently, it's line of sight 2,576 feet plus 142. So let's go with a total of 2,576 plus that. Let's just increase this one. Two 576. 2,576. Sorry, just clicking on buttons here. Yeah, so it does increase. So as you can see with the yellow number, we get a total of 264 now. So we've now got a range of 2,700, about 2,800 feet. For spotting with our binoculars. It makes no sense, and as I said, this is a stealth nerf that they've not told us about. Much like the JU-288, it's another stealth nerf that they haven't told us about. It's very frustrating when they do this, and it's very common practice for them to do this. And this is the kind of BS we're talking about when we get frustrated with the game. Along with the change to heat shells, Heat FS is no longer as powerful as it used to be. That was changed a few months back without anybody saying a word. So this is the kind of horseshit that we get annoyed about, and this is why we complain so much. but we complain because they're causing us to complain, basically. So yeah, I'll end the video there, because, well, what more can I say? We're going to get anti-cheat software, and they've nerfed scouting mechanics. So good on you, Gaijin. You managed to do one good thing, but then you undo it by causing issues with about 10 other things. You know, removing the mouse, stealth nerfs, and other such interesting issues.